Good morning, guys, and welcome to the show. Listen, we got a lot to talk about this morning. Today is Friday, September 7th, 2018. Listen, really glad to have you guys here. First thing we want to do, get the chart started right here, and we're going to talk about Turkey. You know, we got an emerging market crisis developing. The Federal Reserve is responsible for this crisis, and they are actually the ones who are causing it to happen. And I like what this guy has to say about it. I'm just going to read a little bit of it. It says, Turkey surely follows the pattern of the classic emerging market crisis we've seen before as described by Societe Generale's Alvin Tan. A textbook currency crisis is unfolding in Turkey. Large and widening current account deficits, foreign currency debt. I'll skip down here a little bit. It says, the Turkish currency crisis is not the only emerging market currency crisis. Well, you know what? There's over 13 of them happening simultaneously, and more beginning. The rumblings of more, because the United States is the empire. Seriously, it's the world empire. It's the seat of power in the world. And the United States currency spreads out over the whole world as the world reserve currency. And what's happening is as the Fed's tightening, and as they're going into this tightening monetary policy, raising interest rates, withdrawing liquidity every month, and they're really sharply increasing the amount of liquidity that they're withdrawing from the system, it's going to start to cause a liquidity crunch in the United States itself. The dollar is actually, even though Trump is trying his hardest to keep the dollar weak, the dollar is going to start to strengthen. And it's already been proven so. It's already starting to strengthen. And this is what's causing these emerging market crises. Now, when the Fed raises rates again, 25 basis points, this is going to intensify the effect. And as they increase very shortly, they're going to increase to $50 billion a month from 40 of their basically what they do is when these bonds mature, they cash the bonds in and destroy the money, and they take the money away from the system. They destroy it from the system, so that money's not in the system anymore. And this is having an effect of making less liquidity in the system. And we also had something that made it look like we were heading toward inflation a few months ago. We had over $500 billion of liquidity pour into the system quite suddenly, and it gave us a shot in the arm, so to speak, of inflation. But that's gone now. And that money came from the liquidation of the cryptocurrency industry, which was up around $750 billion market capital, and it dropped back down to around $200 billion market capital. That liquidity was gushed into the system, and it gave us a little boost, a little shot in the arm, a half a $1 trillion shot in the arm for a little while. That changed the complexion of the entire financial system. But now we're back to the drudgery, and that money's gone now, and we're back to the drudgery of the Fed draining liquidity out. And we're starting to see the deflationary effects of it. Trump is actually losing the war against the Fed. The Fed's actually winning because their monetary policy is more powerful than what Trump is doing. Basically, simply put. And so what's happening now is we're starting to deflate. And this is what is creating this inflation that's spreading around the world to these other emerging market countries. Now, where I'm going with all this is you have to think, what effect is this going to have on cryptocurrency? Because a lot of you guys in my audience listen to my show are invested in cryptocurrency. And I'm going to tell you what the effect on cryptocurrency is. It's going to be very positive. It'll be a very positive effect. So now let's just read a little bit more of this. It says these countries, it says Turkey's currency crisis is not the only emerging market one. It said that Russia and Iran's got in trouble here. It says that Argentina and Brazil are joining the fund. Venezuela's already in it, you know, and so we have everything unfolding here. And it says, very specific here, it says the unfolding crisis, okay, I'll underline it. The unfolding crisis in the emerging markets is the direct result of the Fed's tightening and a strong dollar. It says the Fed always raises rates until something breaks. Kaboom! Then what do? They run back to mommy, basically. In other words, they use accommodative monetary policy. They loosen the purse strings. Once it goes kaboom, then the Fed comes in and they change direction. They change the course of everything, and they start the expansion of credit again. That fixes the problem so much for the moment. It's called kicking the can down the road. And that's what they're going to do this time. I mean, they're not going to let the world fold in on itself, right? So, with that in mind, let's go and let's take a look at the markets in general today. First, let's take a look at cryptocurrency. What we're looking at is 64.37. Bitcoin had a waterfall event. It fell down rather remarkably, and it looks like a waterfall. I mean, honest to God, it looks like Niagara Falls. and now it's just struggling to hold its head above water and to keep from going down to $6,000. But what'll it do right now? Well, honestly, it's anybody's call which way she moves at this point. She's sitting there struggling not to go down, struggling to go back up. I mean, it's just like it's a war going on right here with this. So we're going to have to wait and see. I think Litecoin is at a really good price point today. And I'm thinking about going in and getting a Litecoin because they're at a really good price point. And that's just me. But when I say a Litecoin, I'm talking about one Litecoin. Heck, I'm not made of money. What can I say? Here, but today the price point really does look good at $55 for one coin. I mean, that's not bad. Cryptocurrency market capitalizations. Today, we're looking at most of the coins are trying to rebound a little bit, to tell you the truth. Some of them are in the green pretty good, like Stellar, up almost 5%. That's pretty good. So anyway, that's our coin market. And now let's move on to the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which is off today, 89 points. She's struggling to hang on to the 26,000 mark. And so anyway, she's off 89 points today. Let's move on to crude oil. Crude oil is like I say, it goes up, touches $70, and it's like, bam, she falls back down to 65, and then she heads on back up to $70 again. This price is being controlled, so controlled it's unbelievable on crude oil. It's controlled just like silver and gold. Bonds and rates today. Now, this is the biggest mover and shaker in the market as far as I'm concerned. We have got big moves upwards in bond yields. Massive moves upwards in bond yields today. We're looking at 2.94 on the U.S. 10-year. We're looking at a move of almost 7 basis points. I mean, and we do have, on the 5-year, we do have 7 basis points. On the 2-year, we've got almost 6.2 basis points on the 2-year. The only one that's not moving much is the 3-month. It's only up less than 1 basis point. 5 basis points on the 30-year. So we've got some seriously moving rates here. These rates are moving fast today. Steep climb, a steep surge in the bond yields. This is what I was expecting, but didn't happen. It didn't materialize. Maybe it's starting to materialize now. So this is exciting. Silver price today. We're looking at they just changed it a little bit. We're looking at up 8 cents on the day right now, 14.21. We'll take it. Anything we can get up is okay, you know, on silver, because we've been smashed down so low. I know some of you guys are actually open for lower prices. But I already got my silver. I'm not buying anymore. I'm just hanging on now at this point, so I'm hoping for higher prices. You know, but I know some of you guys are hoping for lower prices. Let's take a look at the U.S. dollar index. 95.24 on the U.S. dollar index. Okay. So that's it. We've covered the markets. Thank you guys for listening. Like and subscribe, and we will catch you in the next show. Bye-bye for now, guys.